Milwaukee Brewer Baseball on MSC is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft, by Century Foods, by Coke, by Tires Plus, by Hoover, by Potawatomi Bingo, by Propecia, and by the Discover Card.
On a beautiful evening for baseball at County Stadium, our third of a three-game series featuring the visiting National League Western Division leading San Diego Padres and your Milwaukee Brewers. Welcome back to County Stadium. Matt Vasgersian, Bill Schroeder. Yesterday, a marathon here at the ballpark. Nearly 4.5 hours worth of baseball with the Padres winning Game 2 of the series. Tonight, Game 3 on tap. The Brewers having won here on Saturday. Perhaps a win here today gives them a series win over a very good team.
Well, it'd be nice to have them win the series against San Diego, embarking on a 6-game road trip going to Colorado and Arizona. Good news, bad news scenario yesterday. The offense seems to be rolling a little bit. A couple of big home runs. Bob Hadlin's been red hot, a couple of home runs in his last couple of ball games. But the pitching, something the Brewers have had really no trouble with dealing with so far this year, has been a problem the last couple of days.
This might be the best Padre offensive team in the past couple of years for Bruce Bochy. They've been hitting the ball out of the ballpark all series long. Caminiti, Vaughn, these names are no surprises. And today, the guy will have to deal with this hot-hitting Padre lineup is right-hander Steve Woodard for the Brewers. And on the mound for San Diego, a guy who really gave the Brewers all they could handle last time they saw him in San Diego, left-hander Sterling Hitchcock.
And Hitchcock threw a 5-hit shutout, struck out a season-high 9 batters. Hopefully the Brewers are going to be able to get some better swings at him tonight. Steve Woodard could really use a win. Keeps that changeup down, that slider down, coming off his shortest outing of the year in his last start.
Wrapping up a 7-game homestand tonight, the Brewers and the Padres in our third of a 3-game series. Glad to have you with us tonight. Do stay with us. Brewers and Padres right after this. And welcome back to County Stadium. Brewers and Padres Part 3, wrapping up this 7-game homestand. Brewers looking for a series win if they can get tonight's behind right-hander Steve Woodard. Bruce Bochy aligns his Padres this way to wrap up the series before San Diego heads to Philadelphia to round out their road trip. Kilvio Veras having a good series. He homered here night before last. He leads off at second base. Steve Finley in center field, a former American leaguer, bats number 2. Lots of pop 3 through 5 for these Padres. The red-hot duo of Caminiti and Vaughn 3 and 4. Wally Joyner making his first start of the series, bats number 5 at first base. Mark Sweeney, the right fielder, has hit in 5 straight games. He bats number 6. Left-handed hitting catcher Greg Myers bats number 7. Shortstop Chris Gomez and pitcher Sterling Hitchcock round out the lineup for the Padres tonight.
Well, let's take a look at the Brewers defensively. Had a little trouble defensively yesterday, tying a season high with 3 errors. They've done that 4 times now this year. Here's how they stack up behind Steve Woodard tonight. Jeff Jenkins, Marquise Grissom, and Jeremy Burnitz in the outfield. Cirillo, Loretta Vina, and David Nilsson from third to first. And catching Woodard tonight, Mike Matheny.
Steve Woodard making his 5th crack, his 5th attempt at becoming the Brewers' first 10-game winner this year. Still has a part of the club lead with 9 victories. He and Scott Carl have both been stuck on 9 for some time. A 3.95 ERA for Woody. Tonight he makes his 19th start of the year, and this is his 28th appearance. And for Steve Woodard, he's looking to snap out of a personal 3-game losing streak. Those are the numbers on his last start versus Cincinnati here to begin the homestand. He was a loser to Pete Harnish by a score of 8-2 that night. Hunter Wendelstedt calling balls and strikes. Jerry Night Train Lane at first. Harry Wendelstedt at second, and Rich Riker at third base. Kilvio Veras ready to lead things off for the Padres. First pitch of the night from Steve Woodard misses outside. Turned into a nice night for baseball. A rather balmy 77 degrees at the start of play tonight. Ugly weather through much of the late morning and early afternoon all around the Milwaukee area today. The sun came out about 4 o'clock, and it has remained nice for opening pitch tonight. Quickly 3-0 on Kilvio Veras.
That's certainly the key for Steve Woodard tonight. Something he wasn't able to do against Cincinnati was get that changeup over the strike zone. Had trouble locating that pitch, getting it up once in a while, missing for balls. Although he didn't walk anybody, he really threw deep into the count. It's something Steve Woodard doesn't do a whole lot of.
Another thing Steve Woodard doesn't do a whole lot of is walk guys. Has an outstanding walks to strikeout ratio starting play tonight of nearly 5 walks, or rather 5 strikeouts for every base on balls, but he loses a leadoff hitter here. Steve Finley, the batter now, with Veras aboard. Well, yesterday's was a long one. 4 hours and 21 minutes worth of matinee baseball on a very hot and humid Sunday afternoon. Folks that stayed around for all 4 hours and 21 minutes last night left here with a good bit of color on their faces that they didn't have when they woke up yesterday morning.
Yeah, it was red, not all due to the sun either. Some shoddy play by the Brewers. Brewers able to come back a couple of different times in that ball game. Offense wasn't the problem. The pitching really let the Brewers down for the first time in a long time. Bob Wickman had an opportunity for a save, unable to cash it in. It was a crazy day.
1-0 to Finley's in for a strike. Well, as a result of the win yesterday, the Padres improve an already very good record to 83-47 atop the National League West. In fact, that 83-47 mark for San Diego is their best 130 game mark in franchise history. Runner goes, pitch to Finley is chopped over the drawn in left side of the infield. A base hit, and that'll wrap Veras all the way around to third. The Padres in business in the first with nobody out.
The Padres off and running in the first inning. The hit and run executed perfectly. Steve Finley making sure he gets on top of the baseball. You don't want to pop it up when the runner in motion. Gets a lucky bounce, and San Diego in business, first and third, nobody out.
Good speed aboard in Veras and Finley. Nobody out for Ken Caminiti.
The Brewer pitching staff gave up a season high 18 base hits in yesterday's ball game throughout 10 innings. Wasn't a good day to be a Brewer pitcher.
Caminiti did his share of the damage yesterday afternoon. 2 for 3, a home run, 3 runs batted in. Really no surprise that a day ago much of the Padres pop came from the middle of the lineup, and the top of the lineup did a great job of getting aboard to score those runs. First 4 hitters in the lineup yesterday for Bruce Bochy scored 11 runs.
Well, they're pretty potent. Ken Caminiti with the right-hander on the mound. Woodard able to get in the starting lineup. Bothered by a back that gives him a lot of problems batting right-handed. So Bruce Bochy, in the fact that San Diego has a big lead in the West, able to rest his star.
Following a strike on Ken Caminiti. This is Steve Woodard's first ever appearance against the San Diego Padres. As you can see, he's had some streaky results this year. Not that he's deserved those streaky results. He has pitched more consistently than that at 1.16 in a row, longest winning streak by a Brewer pitcher this year. Currently in the midst of a losing streak, as we mentioned earlier, looking to pull himself out of a funk, looking to snap a 3-game losing slide. 2 balls and a strike on Caminiti. Runners at the corners for San Diego were just underway with nobody out, top of the first.
Now, Steve Woodard certainly has pitched a lot better than that losing streak would indicate. The offense from time to time has had troubles putting up runs, but his last outing, only 3 1/3, his shortest of the season.
Base hit through the hole on the right side for Caminiti, for Ken Caminiti, RBI number 71, and the Padres are the first to score tonight. 1-0 San Diego.
Well, when you get behind in the count, hitters are looking for that fastball. Something straight anyway. Looked like a sinker, hung up in the strike zone. Caminiti able to hit it into right field and score the San Diego first run of the ball game. Caminiti certainly not having the type of year he had a couple of years ago when he was the league's MVP. Padres hope he's going to turn it up for that playoff run.
Don Rowe quickly assembling part of his infield on the mound. San Diego's taken a 1-0 lead before they've committed their first out of the night. Leadoff walk to Veras, back-to-back singles by Finley and Caminiti.
A lot of times a young pitcher once in a while might feel a little bit overwhelmed. We talked about his last outing. Certainly not the type of outing that Woodard has put together most of the season. Rough start in the first. Garner asked Don Rowe to go out there, settle Woodard down a little bit. And has yet to throw one of those sliders.
Here's Greg Vaughn now with runners aboard. What a series the ex-Brewer has had against his old teammates here at the familiar haunts of County Stadium. Vaughn over the past 2 games, 5 for 10. He's homered in each of the first 2 games of the set. He's driven in 4 runs. Yesterday's home run, 455 feet, the longest hit at County Stadium this year.
Yeah, hit it in just about the same spot Bobby Hughes hit his a couple of days ago, but a few feet further. Surprised to see that bus still parked out there. There's that bus, hiding a little bit.
That guy's got the right idea.
Yeah, move that bus a little.
1-1 to Vaughn is grounded to third. Cirillo's got it. Davina for 1. That's all the Brewers will get. So 1 away as Caminiti is forced out on the play. Vaughn reaches on a fielder's choice.
Well, the one good thing is everything that the Padres are hitting is on the ground. That means that Woodard's sinker's working for him. This time Cirillo able to make a nice play going toward the hole to shortstop.
So Finley at third, Vaughn at first. Wally Joyner the batter now. Joyner making his first appearance of the series. Been banged up a little bit. And again, as Bill mentioned, with such a large lead in the West, Bruce Bochy has the affordability to sit down some of his veteran leaders on nights when otherwise they may be out there at less than 100%. But Joyner left Friday's game in Atlanta with a strained right quadriceps muscle. No sense in pushing things.
They were able to put Tony Gwynn on a disabled list, who has been bothered by a bad Achilles heel problem for about a month.
Grounded to Davina at second. That should be 2 to Loretta for 1. Back to first, and Steve Woodard with some great help from the defense behind him is able to minimize the damage at just 1 run in the San Diego first. So the Brewers half of the first, 1-0 Padres. Padres are first to score tonight, 1-0 San Diego as we head into the home half of the first inning. Sterling Hitchcock to make his 22nd start of the year on the mound for the Pods. This is how the Brewers face him with the lineup card. Second baseman Fernando Vina to lead things off for the Brewers tonight. Mark Loretta at shortstop in the 2-hole. First baseman David Nilsson bats number 3. Cleanup hitter is Jeff Cirillo at third base after taking some time off to start the series with a sore back. Cirillo in there to make his first start against San Diego. Marquise Grissom in center bats number 5. Marquise is having a big series offensively. Jeremy Burnett's also having a nice series against San Diego, is in right field batting number 6. Jeff Jenkins, Mike Matheny, and Steve Woodard round out the lineup for the Brewers tonight.
Well, let's take a look at the #1 defense in all of the National League. Padres with a league low 78 errors on the season. Vaughn, Finley, and Sweeney in the outfield. Caminiti, Gomez, Veras, and Wally Joyner on the infield. Greg Myers behind the plate tonight, and on the mound, tough left-hander Sterling Hitchcock.
Hitchcock at 7-5, 4.14 ERA. His last showing against the Brewers was perhaps his best of the year. Shut out the Brewers. Complete game 5 hitter, struck out 9, walked only 1, and was in command all game long.
Well, there you see it. He shut the Brewers out on only 5 base hits. Did it with a good breaking ball and a split-fingered fastball. He and only Chuck Finley, the only two left-handers I'm aware of, or that I can think of, to throw that splitter. Usually that's a pitch that right-handers like to use. But his last outing was a loss against the Florida Marlins in Miami. A little bit of a different story.
1-1 pitch on to Fernando Vina, bounce back up the middle. Well, nobody wasting any time picking up where these two teams left off yesterday.
Well, Fernando with a pitch up in the strike zone. Hitchcock trying to shoot the outside corner, gets too much of the plate. And what's new, Fernando Vina on first base against a left-handed pitcher.
So a base runner now for Mark Loretta. Mark was 1 for 4 yesterday, scored a couple of runs. Got a couple of hits in this series against San Diego, batting with Vina at first base to start the bottom of the first.
Fernando's got that on-base percentage over 400 coming into that bat at 399. Got a base hit at 400. Two Brewers currently with on-base percentages at or over 400. Jeff Cirillo the other. So the top of the order doing a nice job of getting on base this year.
Loretta's .318 average you saw in a moment ago, just percentage points better than Jeff Cirillo's average at the start of play. Jeff has accumulated more plate appearances this year, however. Mark's still a few shy of qualifying for consideration in the top 10. That will change likely in another week or so.
You mentioned the batting average at 318. Loretta's on base percentage at 391. You're talking about Fernando Vina, Cirillo, and Loretta, who for the most part have been batting 1, 2, 3 in the lineup, getting on base all the time. Phil Garner says anybody at the top of the order, if you have an on-base percentage of 375 or more, you're doing a heck of a job.
Sterling Hitchcock tonight working in his 20th consecutive start. After 12 of his first 13 appearances this year came in relief. Been a pretty valuable member of that rotation for Bruce Bochy and Dave Stewart. A rotation that they are still tinkering with a little bit as they make their plans for the postseason. We talked the other day about how Dave Stewart wants to start using Andy Ashby on 3 days rest to see how he will respond when eventually he has to work in that fashion in the playoffs.
Well, if yesterday was any indication, Andy Ashby really didn't have his best stuff. That's an understatement. I'm talking to some of the folks around the Padres. They were saying that Ashby was having a lot of problems with the humidity here in Milwaukee yesterday. Wasn't able to get a good grip on his pitches. And Brewers didn't have much trouble against him yesterday.
Well, Andy Ashby certainly would not be the first guy to struggle with humidity, and it's not just Milwaukee where people have problems with that. It's funny how pitchers react differently to that weather variable.
Yeah.
Some really like it. Some feel as though it gives their ball a little extra sink. Vina runs, pitch to Loretta, swatted foul.
Well, Greg Maddux didn't like it a whole lot yesterday in Atlanta. Gave up a career high 3 home runs in 1 start. It's the first time Maddux has ever done that. And that in itself is amazing, given all the complete games that he's thrown.
I guess he's entitled.
Yeah.
If
About
anybody
1 or 2
is.
a year. Huh?
Yeah. If anybody's entitled to get shellacked every once in a while, it's Maddux.
Yeah, but the problem is he won the game.
Still, it just doesn't. It's not fair, is it?
Yeah.
Got to wonder how to beat that guy when you can hit 3 home runs against him and lose.
Yeah.
Full count pitch to Loretta, once again fouled away. Those two teams are already done today. Atlanta behind Tom Glavine with 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. He raced a 3-0 Dodger lead as Atlanta was able to beat Jeff Shaw by a final score of 4-3. Still a full count on Mark Loretta, batting here with a runner aboard, nobody out. Bottom of the first, 1-0 Padres. Again, Vina runs, and again Loretta fouls it away. There are a lot of grumblings coming out of that Los Angeles camp that Jeff Shaw is going to ask to be traded out of there at the end of the year. And if that is the case, and the Dodgers finish around the middle of the pack without having qualified for the playoffs, you can officially count that trade as one of the worst the franchise has made in some years. Dennis Reyes, Paul Konerko for Jeff Shaw, who might only be there for a couple of months. Vina runs, pitch to Loretta, hit well to center field. Finley back on it with room and puts it away.
Well, Mark gave it a good ride, but not a lot of money out there in center field. Wind blowing out just a little bit straight out to left field. You can see Mark bring the hands in, get the big part of the bat on, but really didn't get the extension to knock it out of the park. Just in front of the warning track. There's that breeze. At that big blue crane. Up as high as it's been since we've been home, huh?
The Blue Meanie.
Look at the size of that baby.
The Blue Meanie is almost erect.
Cables, wires all over the place.
David Nilsson, the batter now. Vina still aboard at first base with one away. Well, David had a big night yesterday. 2 for 4, a home run, and matched a career high with 5 runs batted in. He last accomplished such productivity in '95 against Oakland.
Yeah, slowly but surely, David's starting to see the ball a little bit better.
Vina running with a pretty good jump. Throw is late. Stolen base number 19 for Fernando Vina.
Fernando got a good jump off of Sterling Hitchcock. First move, he was gone. Greg Myers had some trouble getting out of his glove. Double pumps. Ball in the dirt, and Fernando in safely at second base. The 19th stolen base on the year for Fernando Vina.
So Vina's in scoring position now for Nilsson. Jeff Cirillo waiting on deck for the Brewers. 1-1 from Hitchcock to Nilsson. Checks his swing. 2-1.
Now, one thing that is for certain, Phil Garner is probably going to have Nilsson and Jeff Jenkins in the lineup just about every day. Right-handers, left-handers, that's certainly been the case in the last couple of weeks anyway. Put those big guys in there, see what they can do against lefties.
Vina running again. Throw down to third base is not in time. 2 stolen bases in the at-bat by Fernando Vina, giving him a total of 20. Now a fly ball can tie the ball game early.
Well, a lot of base steals will tell you third base is the easiest base to steal. Pitcher kind of forgets about you over there. It's exactly what happened. Fernando with a great jump. Greg Myers' throw right on the money, but it didn't matter. Number 20.
So 2-2 to Nilsson. Changes the nature of the at-bat for David. The 2-2 home to him, fouled away.
And that was a good job by David Nilsson as well. It looked like he had a pitch that he could swing at, but he realized that Fernando had a very good jump and he was going to make it to third. He let it go. Last thing you want to do is swing at that ball, maybe even foul it off, or worse, hit a line drive somewhere and end the inning with a double play. When you see a runner get a jump like that, just take it, unless you have 2 strikes.
Next 2-2 offering home for Hitchcock. There's a drive into left center field. Finley back on it, still racing back. It'll clear him and score Vina easily from third. David Nilsson stays red hot after a career high 5 RBI a day ago. Is aboard on an RBI double in his first at bat tonight.
Well, nothing to it. David Nilsson got a pitch out over the plate and hit it right where it was pitched. You see Myers sitting up outside, ball's upstairs, look like a cutter. And David went right with it, center field, 1 hop off the wall, and the Brewers tie it up here in the first inning. It could be a repeat of yesterday, never know, hitter's night.
Yeah, we're headed that way so far. The Brewers have already had more success tonight against Sterling Hitchcock in a third of an inning than they did in 9 innings a week and a half ago in San Diego. So here's Cirillo now with Nilsson at second base and still only 1 away, all tied up 1 apiece. Off to the races for the second straight day here in Milwaukee are the Padres and Brewers.
And you can credit Fernando Vina with some aggressive base running, kind of disrupting Sterling Hitchcock just a little bit. Maybe that steal of third base might have shaken him up. Gave David a nice pitch to hit.
We mentioned Jeff Cirillo has seen limited duty here in the series. Came in yesterday as a pinch hitter, went 0 for 2, did not play on Saturday. He, like the third baseman of the Padres, Ken Caminiti, experiencing a little back trouble.
Well, unlike Bruce Bochy, Phil Garner really doesn't have the luxury of resting Cirillo for an extended period of time. One of the few Brewers that has been consistent all season long really does not have the luxury of sitting Cirillo out 3 or 4 days.
That's certainly been a problem with more than just Jeff Cirillo in the Brewer lineup. You'd like to be able to give Jeremy Burnitz, Fernando Vina, Mark Loretta a couple of days off every once in a while. This hadn't been the case.
Well, you don't have the luxury of taking those guys out of the lineup because really they're the only 4 hitters that have been doing anything offensively. You take 1 or 2 of those hitters out of there, then you're in trouble.
Cirillo's worked the count even now at 2-2. With men on base, only Wally Joyner has a better batting average in the National League. A couple of good clutch hitters represented on the field here tonight. Full count to Cirillo now, 3-2.
And Cirillo, one of the best hitters in the National League with a full count. Good 2-strike hitter.
So after being in front of him 0-2, now full Hitchcock is set. From the stretch, the payoff home is fouled away. Noticed it the case with David Nilsson, among other players. Certainly a lot of guys do it out of habit. Holding the batting gloves while you're on base, particularly in scoring position. I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to that.
Well, a lot of guys will hold those batting gloves to keep their fists closed, so when they slide, perhaps they don't bend their fingers back. That's why they do that.
Payoff home to Cirillo, grounded to third. Caminiti makes a good backhanded stab, throws high. Joyner comes down in time to record the out, however. Nicely done by Wally Joyner on the receiving end. 2 away.
They mentioned that Caminiti has had back problems, but he's also got 20 errors on the season. And when you talk about one position with 20 errors when your entire ball club only has 78, that's a lot. Caminiti with a high throw, and Wally Joyner saves an error that time.
So Grissom now with a chance with a runner in scoring position. Didn't take Dave Stewart too long to come out and chat with his starter tonight. The former World Series MVP out to chat with Hitchcock.
Well, Dave Stewart, the only person out there on that mound doing any talking, obviously telling Hitchcock, be aggressive. Don't be nibbling early in the count. You're not going to get out that way. Certainly Hitchcock has pitched deep into the count on just about everybody tonight.
Grissom's having a great series. 5 for 10. 2 for 5 yesterday. Scored 3 runs. Drove in 3 runs. And Hitchcock starts him with strike one. Pretty good season line versus San Diego as a result of a good last 2 days. Sawed him off. Little number back up the middle. Veras gets to it quickly. Throw to first is in time to get him. The Brewers will settle with one to tie it early. Heading to the second inning at County Stadium. San Diego and the Brewers tied at one apiece. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock, the Brewers start their 6-game road trip west with the first of 2 against the Colorado Rockies. Join us on WCGV TV in Milwaukee and on MSC throughout the rest of the state. Scott Carl versus Darryl Kyle tomorrow. Tough and ruthless versus rough and toothless tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Darryl Kyle has had a lot of problems at Coors Field this year. On the road, a lot different story.
It was talked about right after the trading deadline had come and gone that the Rockies considered putting Kyle on waivers. Unbelievable.
Making a lot of money.
Mark Sweeney leads things off in the second for San Diego on a 1-1 pitch from Steve Woodard. Pops into short left. Loretta's there for it, 1 away.
Yeah, of course, Darryl Kyle isn't the only pitcher and probably won't be the last that struggles at Coors Field. Tough place to pitch.
Catcher, number 20, Greg Myers.
Greg Myers, a batter now. Myers 1 for 3 here in the series, making his first start tonight. Steve Woodard being the only right-hander in the Brewers starting rotation currently. That means on 4 out of 5 nights, a lot of left-handers are sitting down against Brewer starters.
It'll be very interesting to see how that starting rotation pans out during the off season and what it looks like going into spring training. And the Brewers are very high on Rafael Roque. See if he's going to be around next year. Brad Woodall. You know, Scott Carl's going to be in the rotation.
3-1 to Myers. Fly ball into center field. Grissom is there for it. And 2 away for Woodard here in the second.
And the way Bill Pulsiver has been pitching so far, he's probably going to be one of the 5 guys they're talking about during the winter in that starting rotation. So interesting to see how it works out.
Chris Gomez, a batter now with 2 away. Gomez got the night off yesterday. Unusual in the course of a 4-hour and 21-minute slugfest that somebody would go the entire day and not be tabbed to at least pinch hit. That was the case with Gomez. Chopped to third base for Cirillo. Throw to Nilsson right on the money, and it's a quick 1-2-3 second by Steve Woodard. 1.5 gone tonight. Brewers and Padres tied at 1 apiece.
It's Major League Baseball for Kids magazine night. Thursday, September 3rd, as the Brewers battle the Rockies. All kids 14 and under receive a free copy of the official Kids magazine from Major League Baseball.
Jeremy Burnitz leads off the second for the Brewers. Burnitz, Jenkins, and Matheny here against Sterling Hitchcock. Brewers and Padres tied 1 apiece through 1.5. Each team getting on the scoreboard in the first inning tonight. The Brewers countering the Padres with an RBI double by David Nilsson. Bernie having a real good series, as we mentioned when we went down the starting lineup. 6 for 9 with 5 runs batted in over the past 2 games here. Hitchcock from the wide, the 1-2 ties him up and misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
If you look at the line for Burnitz throughout the course of the season, you'll see that he can get red hot and driving a lot of runs, hit the home runs, and then he'll go into a cold spell where he Will struggle from time to time, but you see a lot of big hitters do that.
A board on a base hit back up the middle here. Bernie stays red hot. 7 for 10 against the Padres in the series.
Nice to see Bernie swinging the bat, and hopefully that hot streak is going to last a lot longer than those cold streaks. This time a pitch out over the plate. Base hit up the middle. You can see Veras shading him towards first base, expecting him to pull the baseball. A lot of your home run hitters get very streaky. Mark McGwire, one of those kind of guys. He'll go a couple of weeks without hitting a home run. Then he'll hit 6 in a few days.
Jeff Jenkins a batter now. Jenkins has hit in 7 in a row. Speaking of streaks, Jeff is in the midst of a very good one. You know, speaking of Mark McGwire, tonight St. Louis and Pittsburgh played 7 innings of baseball before they had to stop due to rain, cancel it, and start again. They had played to a 5-5 tie before that game was rained out. That means that the score, the results do not hold up. They'll have to start it anew, but the statistics accumulated through those 7 innings will count. Not really very noteworthy because McGwire did not homer, but he did drive in a couple of runs.
Well, the longer he goes without a home run, the better chance that when he comes to Milwaukee, he'll be in position to break that record here. That's what I'm rooting for.
Jenkins grounds to second. Veras to Gomez. Over to Joyner with the fancy scoop. It's not in time. Not a lot on the throw because Burnitz was coming right up into Gomez.
Well, the ball wasn't hit all that hard, and Gomez's timing was off from the beginning. You can see the throw. He expected it to be a little bit harder. That was a little bit far from second base for Veras to flip it sidearm. That threw the timing off for Gomez, and Jenkins was able to beat it. You see those shortstop, those second basemen, they time their approach to second base with how hard the throw is going to be, or how hard they expect it to be. And the timing just wasn't there on that one.
Mike Matheny now. Runner aboard, 1 away. You know, you talk about McGwire possibly tipping the scales and hitting number 62, maybe number 61 to tie it here at County Stadium. There was an article yesterday in the Chicago Tribune in Phil Rogers' baseball report, and the title of the piece was "Get Your Tickets for McGwire in Milwaukee." Phil Rogers is one of many people that think that might go down right here in Milwaukee, and if that's the case, you know a lot of people are going to be driving north up I-94 from Chicago. People are going to be coming from all over to see that milestone accomplishment.
Yeah, you would expect this place to be packed. At least you would hope it would be. You got to wonder if Tony La Russa, if Mark McGwire is a couple away or even tied the record, he might sit him down and have him break the record in St. Louis. Don't think so.
No, that's been suggested, but I don't think you can take any of that for granted. What was it, last Friday or Saturday when McGwire hit 2? 5,000 tickets were sold that day here at County Stadium for that series. 5,000 seats. People are tuned into what's happening.
And don't forget about Sammy Sosa, who comes in right after McGwire's here. Sammy Sosa's at 50 now, 51. He could be right there too. How about that? Mark McGwire comes into town here in Milwaukee, breaks the record. Sammy Sosa follows him in and hits 62 himself. There they are. Home run leaderboard for the National League. Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire right there. They're knocking on Roger Maris's door right now. Greg Vaughn having a pretty good season. Andres Galarraga, 40th home run. Big time home run numbers this year.
A lot of people surprised that all the home run productivity is coming from National Leaguers. Of course, McGwire himself was responsible for a lot of the American League home run success in Oakland for the past number of years. Padres only get 1 on the ground ball to Gomez in the hole. They cut down Jenkins for out number 2. Matheny reaches on the second straight fielder's choice play. a 1-out or a 2-out base runner now.
A lot of balls beaten into the ground tonight. Mike Matheny gets on top of a split-fingered fastball. Really not a double play ball, but Veras just getting a little practice in.
Steve Woodard, the batter now. Ken Griffey Jr. certainly slowed down in the American League. He has all but lost his chance to get up there this year. I mean, he would have to go on some kind of pace to join the McGuire Sosa possibilities in getting to that record.
Sammy Sosa hit 20 home runs in a month. That's what Griffey looks like he's going to have to do.
So you're saying it can be done?
It can be. Chances are slim, I guess you'd have to say, but not out of the realm of possibility. I wouldn't be surprised at anything happening this year.
Griffey Jr. would need 18 to tie the Maris record. He's sitting on 43. Ball and 2 strikes to Steve Woodard.
Yeah, it could be a fun week of baseball in Milwaukee at the end of September.
Runner aboard with 2 away. And a swing and a miss by Steve Woodard. Side retired in the second without a score. We've played 2 complete from County Stadium tonight. The Padres and Brewers tied at 1.
MSC will televise the Barry Alvarez Show on a weekly basis beginning August 31st. A half-hour show hosted by Matt LePay showcases the University of Wisconsin football program, including highlights from previous games, comments and strategies for upcoming opponents, and views on the rest of the Big Ten. MSC carries the Barry Alvarez Show at 7 o'clock on Monday nights throughout the entire Badgers season.
Steve Woodard back to work here in the top of the 3rd. He draws the top of the Padres order. He draws Sterling Hitchcock, followed by the top of the Padres order. Hitchcock, Veras, and Finley here in the Padres 3rd. Soft tapper to first. Nilsson will do it himself, and quickly 1 away for Steve Woodard.
I can hear in the background Mike Matheny telling Steve Woodard to get over to first base. Catcher never really takes anything for granted out there. Ball hit to the right side. He's always going to yell for the pitcher to move over, just in case he forgets. Quarterback out there.
One gone for the top of the order now. Kilvio Veras walked and scored that Padre run in the first inning tonight. Scored in front of the Caminiti base hit. Kilvio Veras has had a good series. 4 for 10. He homered here Saturday night.
We talked about the on-base percentage of Fernando Vina. Veras' on-base percentage at .385, which is pretty good. You wouldn't expect an on-base percentage that high for Veras. He's got a very big swing. Doesn't matter if he has 2 strikes. Really doesn't shorten that swing up much.
Grounded into the hole at shortstop. Good play by Mark Loretta to get him. 2 away.
Woodard got away with a high fastball that time. Veras hit it right to Loretta. Woodard really doesn't live upstairs too often with success. That pitch certainly hittable for Veras. Hit it right to Mark Loretta.
Two away for Steve Finley now. Finley 5 for 10 in the series here in Milwaukee. This is a guy the Padres really want to get going for the postseason. He's a number 2 hitter, certainly capable of leading off. Not that the Padres have any intention of jockeying the lineup card. There's a drive into the gap in right center. Well hit. Burnitz and Grissom chase. It's off the base of the wall. Finley wheeling into second. Steve Finley 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, Finley hit that one pretty well. Last couple of years he has put up 30 home runs and 28 respectively. Only 10 this year. Steve Woodard picks up a break this time off the bottom of the fence with 2-out double. He's got a good swing. Padres certainly hope that he's going to get hot for the playoffs. 33rd double this year, though.
Ken Caminiti now, runner in scoring position for him. Caminiti drove in the first Padre run with a base hit in the first. Ken Caminiti snapped a bat over his knee when the Brewers were in San Diego a week and a half ago. We commented at the time there aren't a lot of bat snappers left in big league baseball. Chili Davis has been known to do it. Bo Jackson snapped a few in his day. Can you think of anybody other than Caminiti and Davis that'll do that?
No, I haven't. I've been trying ever since he did that. You see guys that pound bats into the ground, you know, hold them and like a hatchet, swing it over their head, or an axe rather, and break it as they're going to the plate or going back to the dugout. But yeah, right over the knee, you risk injury. He didn't look like a guy that's too shy about hurting himself, does he?
He plays like an absolute maniac. Hit a home run with a torn rotator cuff early in the season last year. We talked about it the other day. Had Montezuma's revenge in Mexico, that 3-day series with the Padres and Mets. Homered that night. Guy's an animal. He's just the kind of guy you want playing for you.
As we mentioned, one of 4 free agents on this San Diego Padre roster that are going to be very important. Steve Finley, as you mentioned, Caminiti, Kevin Brown, and Wally Joyner. Got some big decisions to make on this club.
There's ball 4 to Caminiti. David Ortiz apparently last week against the Red Sox. The Twins first baseman snapped the bat over his knee. Did you say you've been trying to do that ever since you saw Caminiti do it?
No, I've been trying to think of players that have been known to do that. No. My bat breaking days are over.
I was going to say, I haven't seen you in shorts in about a week and a half, not even on the golf course, trying to protect those bruises.
Cuts, gashes everywhere. It's best to use a whole bat, one that's not broken. You have a tendency to rip yourself open.
Greg Vaughn, the batter now. Second walk of the night issued by Woodard. Unusual to see a couple of walks on Woody's line, only 2 2/3 into the night.
And no snapping of bats over the knee, but I will rip a phone book in half from time to time.
Boy. You and Steve Sparks. You've never done that, have you?
No. No.
Now, there is a science to that. I know guys that aren't nearly big enough, you'd think, to be able to do that. Kind of like snapping a bat. You know how to do it and get it done. We don't recommend either one of them to anybody viewing tonight.
No. Unless it's last year's phone book. What do you do? Stick it in the freezer, right? Isn't that the idea? Phone book?
Stick it in the freezer?
Stick it in the freezer and it's easier to rip.
I've never heard that.
Well, yeah.
That's cheating. Whatever it takes.
Somebody should have told Sparky about that, huh?
2-0 to Vaughn is hammered foul. That ball's flat on one side of it right now.
And that's the problem. A hitter knows a fastball's coming, and once in a while he'll jump out a little bit too quick. That's what Vaughn did that time. Luckily for Steve Woodard, that ball went foul. Hit it hard, though.
2 balls and a strike to Greg Vaughn, batting with 2 men on and 2 away. 3-1 now.
Well, got to be careful with a fastball in this situation. 3-1 to Greg Vaughn. But you don't want to have to face Wally Joyner.
Not a lot of places to hide once you get into this part of the Padres lineup card. 3-1 home. This is inside, and that's going to load the bases. Well, Woodard indeed will have to face Wally Joyner. Finley at third, Caminiti at second, and Vaughn at first. Yes, they are loaded. Again, Joyner making his first start tonight since Friday in Atlanta. Way out front there.
A good changeup by Woodard. He knew that Joyner was going to be sitting on a fastball. There you can see his walk less than 2 men per 9 innings in his career. Not too shabby. 3 walks tonight. He's done that 3 other times this year. Season high 5 walks.
Popped him up. Matheny has a beat on it, and Woodard strands him loaded in the 3rd. Another bullet dodged by the Brewers starter through 2.5. Still tied 1 apiece.
Kids, write an essay about why you love the Brewers, and you could be chosen to be part of the Sears Major League Moments. Every Sunday, all season long, 9 lucky kids will be allowed onto the field with a Brewers player during the national anthem. Experience the Major Leagues, plus receive Brewers tickets, autographs, and other souvenirs. Come see the softer side of Sears and pick up your entry form at a participating store.
Now check out our Tires Plus trivia question tonight. Who's the only 2-time American League Championship Series most valuable player?
We'll revisit that issue in a little bit. Fernando Vina is set to lead off the bottom of the 3rd for the Brewers. Vina, Loretta, and Nilsson here against Sterling Hitchcock. All even Steven through 2.5. Each club getting on the scoreboard in the 1st inning tonight. Fernando Vina scored that Brewer run. Each team's leadoff hitter doing the job, plating both scores. A ball and a strike to Fernando. Only one other game in progress in the National League tonight. You might find that a little unusual that on a Monday night so many afternoon games were played in the National League. It's not unusual when you know that this is a travel day for everybody. Series ending today. And it's rather unusual for us to be playing a night game when you look at it that way.
Particularly when the team has to go to Colorado right after tonight's game.
High chopper to the right side. Joyner with the nifty backhand. Hitchcock wasn't there in time for it. Ball goes into the Brewer dugout, and Vina will be awarded second base. Looked like Joyner tried the no-look pass.
Yeah, that was to be having the backhand shuffle over to Sterling Hitchcock. He couldn't handle it. Another high chopper. Let's see how it'll be ruled. Might go down as a hit and an error. Oh, that looked like a pretty good throw from Wally Joyner. Just a little bit out of the reach of Sterling Hitchcock. Looked like it surprised Hitchcock a little bit. Rolls into the dugout. That's why the catcher has to back up first base every time. It's not often that you're really going to have a play to make, but certainly at that time, Greg Myers could have saved at least one base.
They're going to score that as a base hit and an error. So Vina in scoring position to start the bottom of the 3rd. Now it's Mark Loretta.
Well, they gave the error. Who'd they give it to? I guess it's got to be Wally Joyner because Hitchcock never did get a glove on it. And they did.
One and 0 to Loretta. Loretta's done a nice job with runners on base this year. Done an even better job with runners in scoring position, batting .361 in those situations, and has a healthy career line versus Sterling Hitchcock. Grounded to shortstop. Vina trying to get to 3rd on the play in front of him, and he's gunned down.
Now the cardinal rule is you never advance to 3rd base if the ball's hit in front of you at 2nd base. It's exactly what Fernando does. That's a no-no. Only play for Gomez is to 3rd base and gets him easily. That ball either has to be hit right at you or towards 2nd base. You never go to 3rd base if it's in front of you. Well, base running has been a problem for the Brewers all season long, but in particular the last 2 games.
Score that as a fielder's choice, and Loretta's at first base now with 1 away for David Nilsson.
When you're standing at second base, you're thinking about one thing. Where is the ball going to be hit, and where am I going to go? That ball's hit to the left side of the infield in front of you. You go back to second base. You're still in scoring position. If you go to third base, that's what happens.
Two 2-0 on Nilsson now. Tough way to run yourself out of a scoring opportunity.
Well, the Brewers had first and third, nobody out in yesterday's ball game. Early in the game, Valentine got picked off, and then a failed suicide squeeze attempt. Brewers ended up getting no runs. And one thing you have to do, if you're not hitting a lot of home runs, you have to execute very well offensively. Be aggressive on the bases. You have to run. But you really can't make foolish outs on the bases. You don't have the power to make up for it.
3-1 to Nilsson now.
And it's tough enough to score runs when you have to bunch base hits together. 3-4 hits in an inning to put up a couple of runs. But you make it a lot tougher on yourself if you're making outs out there.
Hitchcock's come back to run the count full now, 3-2.
Another thing you have to consider is who is coming up and what should I do. You got the meteor order coming up. You got your 3-4 hitter. Nothing wrong with staying at second base. If you got the bottom of the order or that part of the order, you might take a chance.
There's a drive into the opposite field. Greg Vaughn circling around it. And David Nilsson's old teammate puts him away for out number 2. Some of those other National League finals from today. San Francisco beat Florida 7-4. Giants scored 5 of their 7 runs after the 6th inning. That, coupled with the Mets' loss today, means that the Giants shave a game off that wild card ranking. San Francisco just 2 back of the Mets for the wild card spot in the National League. Don't count the Giants out.
Yeah, we don't talk a lot about the Giants. At least I don't. It's always the Mets and the Cubs, but they're right there too.
You see yesterday that Giants game where Barry Bonds hit his 26th home run of the year, and he becomes the charter member of the 400-400 club.
How about that, huh?
400 home runs, 400 stolen bases.
And he's not done.
That's scary.
500-500.
Hell, he said in spring training that once he gets to 500-500, as if to indicate it was a certainty, he would retire.
Yeah. Oh, I'd quit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, not much more to prove.
You talk about numbers that put you right into the Hall of Fame. You talk about 3,000 hits, 300 wins. How about those gaudy numbers?
Well, everybody that has 500 home runs is in, right?
Yes.
That's a lot of home runs. Wow.
0-1 to Cirillo, fouled away. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you size up the Giants' chances in the National League for that wild card. You really got to like what they have going for them. A more consistent offense than the Mets. A better bullpen than the Mets. Not too many clubs can claim as good a starting pitching as Bobby Valentine's team. It's going to be a good race.
Yeah. Well, pitching and defense, the Mets have it.
0-2 on Jeff Cirillo. Loretto off first with 2 away.
Well, upon further review of those defensive statistics, the Giants are tied for the best fielding percentage in all the National League. There's 5 teams up there at .984. The Mets are just behind him at .983. Well, I guess you have to say starting pitching is the only place that The Mets have them.
It's the only edge the Mets have right now.
Never mind.
Better mascot? That baseball head guy?
No.
You don't like that baseball head guy,
No.
do you?
No, he's kind of weird. Kind of think nightmares are made of.
Speaking of the Cubs, they were losers today in a game interrupted by rain. Long day of baseball down at Wrigley. Houston beat them 12-3. Shane Reynolds got the win over Mark Clark.
Pretty good numbers for Sterling Hitchcock against the Brewers. Good earned run average and 6-1.
One-two pitch to Cirillo, again fouled away. Sterling Hitchcock, one of the few National League starters that the Brewer lineup can claim familiarity with coming into the season. After his time with the Yankees and Mariners. Found a home in San Diego. Cirillo chases a pitch at the eyes, swing and a miss, strike 3. Brewers leave a base runner in the third, end of 3, tied 1 apiece.
There's more baseball to come with Fox Baseball Thursdays on MSC. Catch a battle in the National League as the Braves take on the Cardinals. That's coming Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Right here on MSC, your ultimate sports connection.
Brewers and Padres tied 1 apiece as we head to the 4th. Padres will probably roll the tape on that game. What you think? Trying to size up them Atlanta Braves.
I think they've got them pretty much figured out at this point, huh? Not a whole lot of surprises.
They really do have them figured out, as a matter of fact. They have beaten the Braves in 3 out of 4 meetings since middle August. Did a nice job against the Atlanta club the last time they locked horns. The only game Atlanta was able to win was against the Padres' number 5 starter, Mark Langston, who the Brewers beat here Saturday. Sweeney lines into left. Jenkins runs it down for out number 1.
Well, good communication out in left center. Marquise and Jenkins both converging on the baseball. Jenkins calling off Marquise, able to make the catch. You see Marquise letting up, saying, "Go ahead, take it, kid."
Greg Myers, the batter now with 1 away.
Well, if the Braves don't do something about that bullpen, they're going to have some trouble in the playoffs. The starters aren't going to be able to pitch complete games all the time. Terry Lightenberg, the current Atlanta Brave closer. Looks like it might stay that way.
Something's got to change dramatically in order for somebody to dethrone Lightenberg. Got a couple of good setup men there in John Rocker and Rudy Cianez, but it's not the kind of bullpen that you want to feel the confidence in going into the postseason. Say the kind of bullpen that the Astros have or that the Padres have.
They'd like to have a closer that's been in the battles too.
Myers lines into right. Burnett's out there for it. Dives. Can't get to it. Myers into second. He has himself a 1-out double here in the 4th.
Well, a good effort by Jeremy Burnett. Just was not able to close enough ground and make the catch. Not for lack of effort. Got a good jump on the ball. Went back and over instead of a straight across. Boy, Myers hit that ball very well. Pitch up in the strike zone. Just out of the reach of Burnett. Another couple inches, he would have had it.
Chris Gomez, the batter now with 1 away. See how the Brewers choose to face Gomez with the pitcher waiting next. Tied 1 apiece, top of the 4th. It's the last meeting between these two clubs on the regular season schedule this year. Padres have won 5 of the 8 so far. 1 ball, no strikes to Chris Gomez. 1 hop to second. Viña's there for it. Out number 2 comes with Myers advancing to third.
Well, 3 balls hit pretty hard against Steve Woodard here in the 4th inning. Getting a couple of pitches up. Gomez hit that one right on the button. 1 hop to Fernando. Get that pitch down.
Talk about the season series between the Brewers and Padres, and you talk about all the Padres season series this year. Could be just a circumstance, could be one of those fluky statistics, there could be something to it. The Padres have lost 7 consecutive series finales. This being a series finale tonight, they're trying to end that streak. You might recall the Brewers beat the Padres in a series finale, game 2 of a doubleheader a week and a half ago in San Diego. It was the only game the Brewers won during that set.
And the Brewers broke a drought of 1 home run in 11 games in that ball game as they won in San Diego, 2nd game of the doubleheader.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. No damage against Woodard despite the 1-out double in the 4th. Through 3.5, tied 1 apiece. Now it's time for today's Have a Ball giveaway. Today's Have a Ball winner, somebody who doesn't even live close to us here in the ballpark, Phil Milwaukee from Olathe, Kansas. Olathe? What do you think?
Close enough.
Close enough. Olathe, Kansas. Hey, congratulations, Phil, watching us on the satellite. We're going to send you an autographed Jeremy Burnett's baseball. You don't have to live in Milwaukee to win. Send a postcard with your name, address, and telephone number to that address on your screen. We'll select a winner every MSC telecast in the MSC Have a Ball giveaway. That is our first out-of-state winner this year.
Congratulations, Phil. Got him one of those Prime Star dishes, I'm sure.
Prime Star dish. He could have some kind of illegal deal jerry-rigged outside his house for all we know. No idea how Phil's pulling us in. Glad to have him watching, though. Sterling Hitchcock will continue in the bottom of the 4th. Brewers and Padres tied 1 apiece. This one started out like another track meet tonight. Each club scored a run in the 1st, but since then both starters have taken control. And here in the 4th inning, the Brewers have Grissom, Burnitz, and Jenkins against Sterling Hitchcock. Heading to Denver tonight. First of 2 with the Rockies tomorrow. And then a 4-game series down at Bank One Ballpark, the Bob. A 4-game series in Arizona begins on Thursday.
What's the weather like down there?
Hot, hot, hot.
103 degrees, according to producer-director Gary Kirby. But it's dry. Not humid, no
You know what, you
bugs.
scoff at that. It's legit.
Yeah, that's not legit. That's
It
a
is.
bunch.
There's a big difference.
No, there's not.
0-2 on Grissom.
Calling for temperatures of 107 tomorrow in Phoenix, Valley of the Sun. But it's a dry 107.
Well, it's not as dry in August as it normally is. This is hurricane season down. Not hurricane season, but what am I looking for?
Dust storm season?
No.
Sandstorm.
No. Hurricane or monsoon.
In Arizona.
It's monsoon season. End of July throughout August, you get those 5-6 o'clock rains. They can be severe at times. It'll clear up for you. Ground ball to the left side of the infield. Nifty short hop by Caminiti. Throw is high, however, and Grissom beats it out.
That was a nice play by Caminiti, making the play with a glove, but once he made the transfer, not sure he was going to be able to get Marquise anyway. Marquise with a good jump out of the box. Caminiti throw high again. Would have been close. Let's see if it goes down to a hit or an error. No scoring yet.
Jeremy Burnett's now having a tremendous series, 7 for 10 against the Padres over the past couple of nights. Fast man aboard to lead off the fourth for the Brewers. Burnitz grounds to the right side. It trickles away from Veras. Another hit for Jeremy Burnitz. Grissom wraps all the way around to third.
Oh, that's great base running by Marquise. As soon as he got to second base, he looked at Doug Manzolino and said, come on. The ball went off Veras' glove and into short right field. Burnitz was still another base hit. And watch Marquise. Sees it all the way, makes the turn at second base and into third. Boy, good aggressive base running. And for the record, they did give Marquise a base hit on that ball.
Jeff Jenkins a batter now. Back-to-back knocks against Hitchcock to lead off the bottom of the fourth for the Brewers. Six hits tonight for Milwaukee. They've already passed their hit total against Hitchcock a week and a half ago in San Diego when he limited them to just 5 in 9 innings. Pop up behind the plate that Myers handles one away.
Oh, there's a big out for Sterling Hitchcock. Now a ground ball can get him out of the inning. Uzbocci had the infield in at halfway. See if they couldn't cut the run down. Now they'll play back for the double play. Get out of the inning without anything across.
Be up to Mike Matheny, grounded into a fielder's choice play in his one and only at-bat tonight so far. Grissom at third base, Burnitz at first. Good speed for the Brewers.
Well, fans, Saturday, September 5th is Century Foods Fireworks Night. The night will be filled with the sights and sounds of the famed Bartolotta's Fireworks Show. That's courtesy of Century Foods. For tickets to the Brewers-Phillies game, call 933-9000.
Base hit by Grissom on the ground ball to Caminiti. Burnitz reaches on a base hit. And the pop out behind the plate handled by Myers off the bat of Jeff Jenkins. Runners at the corners with one away.
Now here's a situation where Mike Matheny has to think about expanding his strike zone a little bit. Put the ball in play, hopefully not a double play to score the run. You've got the pitcher on deck.
Mike thought about checking it, went through with the swing count 1-1 now.
You can see Sterling Hitchcock really playing with the corners on Matheny here, hoping that he's going to do just that, swinging something out of the strike zone. Mike tried to check his swing but couldn't do it.
Not a whole lot of success against Sterling Hitchcock career. 2 for 15 with a home run. Sterling Hitchcock came up with the Yankees, as we talked about a little earlier, and spent parts of the 92, 93, and 94 season bouncing around between the major league pinstripes and the Yankees farm system. And none of that really sat very well with Sterling Hitchcock. Late in his career as a Yankee, he made it known to the front office that he thought he should be out there starting every 5 days. He'd used him out of the bullpen late in his Yankee career. He didn't like that duty much. Finally ended up trading to Seattle along with Russ Davis in that Tino Martinez trade.
Yankees had a couple of good left-handers at that time. One was Sterling Hitchcock. The other young lefty was Andy Pettit. Sounds like they had made a pretty good move, did the Yankees.
Matheny takes a look at a call, strike 3.
Well, it's one thing you don't want to do, be left caught looking at the third strike with a pitcher on deck. Now it's up to Steve Woodard. Matheny looking away. Hitchcock shoots the corner, and Mike knew it.
That's all going to be up to the pitcher now. Something Sterling Hitchcock has been doing a lot of. Striking people out, 9th in the league with almost 8 strikeouts per 9 innings this year. Woodard with a ground ball to shortstop. Blank. Everybody's safe. It scores a run. Oh, the Brewers get a big break there.
Well, we talked about the best defensive ball club in the National League coming in. That's going to be their second error, and certainly allowing Grissom to get on. It could have been an error to Ken Caminiti. Ball comes up on him right off the chest. Jeremy got a good jump off of first base and beat it. The Brewers take the lead on some questionable defense by San Diego. Well, that'll go down as an error on Chris Gomez. And the Brewers the beneficiary of at least one error and one play that should have been made to lead off the inning.
That's the second error of the night by the Padres. And back to the top of the order now. Boy, it looked like Sterling Hitchcock had done the necessary work to get out of a jam. He gave up leadoff singles to Grissom, and Burnitz had runners at the corners with nobody out. And it appeared as though he had wiggled off the hook. Not so. And that one gets a piece of Fernando Vina. That'll load the bases. Vina not happy about it. He and Hitchcock exchanging some words.
Well, Fernando got hit by a pitch yesterday's ball game. That's the 24th time that Fernando's been hit by a pitch. Only Jason Kendall of the Pirates has been hit more. He's been hit 25 times. There's nothing Fernando could do about this one. Fastball inside. He turns the body right off the side. Fernando not exactly happy with it, but he'll take first.
Bases are loaded now for Mark Loretta. Brewers have scored 1 run here in the 4th to take the lead.
Now there's a situation that Hitchcock hit Fernando with a pitch, but the last thing on Hitchcock's mind is to hit Fernando, a left-handed hitter, to get to Mark Loretta.
This mess all started for the Padres on the error charged to Chris Gomez on what looked like an inning-ending ground ball. As we've talked about throughout the series, Gomez is a very steady defensive player, a rare miscue from him.
117 games, he's only made 8 errors until tonight. That's pretty good at shortstop.
Two balls and a strike on Loretta now. Brewers have taken their first lead of the night here in the 4th. They're looking to add to it here with the bases loaded and 2 away. Burnitz at third base. Woodard at second. Fernando Vina, after being hit by a pitch, aboard at first. Mark Loretta has been on a tear with the bases loaded this year, 3 for 7 with 8 runs driven in. Remember, a couple of bases loaded doubles early in the season as his first hits of the year. Hitchcock set, the 2-2, swung on and poked into the corner and right, slicing away from Sweeney on the run, sliding and makes a catch. Nicely done by a part-time right fielder to avoid any other trouble. Brewers do get 1 in the 4th. We've played 4 complete. Brewers on top 2-1.
Now let's check out our Hoover pickup of the game. Mark Sweeney with a nice play in foul territory, saving any more damage for Sterling Hitchcock. And Mark Sweeney going over, making the slide, and a nice catch right in front of the fence.
Brewers take their first lead of the night, 2-1 as we go to the 5th inning. Steve Woodard back to work, and he'll go to work on the top of the Padre order. Veras, Finley, and Caminiti here top of the 5th. We talked about how the Padres' 83-47 record represents their best mark after 130 games in franchise history. That news may come to as a surprise to some fans. A benchmark team in San Diego prior to this year had been their 84 team, a team that would lose in the World Series to the Detroit Tigers. That team, at this point in the season, had a winning percentage just over 500. The 96 club, the Padres' last postseason team, also with a winning percentage just over 500 at this point in the season.
Wasn't Bruce Bochy on that 84 team? Backup catcher?
I think you're right about that.
Here Steve Garvey hit that big home run off of Lee Smith against the Cubs.
I would look that up for you right now, my friend.
At then Jack Murphy Stadium, now Qualcomm.
Grounded at first base. Good play by David Nilsson. Woodard gets there in plenty of time. One away to start the 5th.
I think Bochy was the backup catcher to Terry Kennedy.
You're right about that.
Who's the only two-time AL Championship Series most valuable player. There he is. Pitcher Dave Stewart. 1990, 1993.
1990 with Oakland, 93 with Toronto.
Just call him a winner.
Flat out. Steve Garvey won that honor in the National League a couple of times. Steve Finley, the batter now, with one away. Another chopper to the right side. Vina's got this one, and quickly 2 away for Woodard in the 5th.
Third baseman, Ken
Caminiti, the batter now, with 2 away. Remember chatting in spring training with Doug Jones about his time in Cleveland early in his major league career. And I want to say it was the '86 season. Cleveland was playing in Oakland. Jones, as an Indian, remembered a brawl between the A's and the Indians. It was when Dave Stewart had just arrived in Oakland. Stewart was on the mound pitching and came inside to one of Doug Jones's Cleveland teammates. His bench took exception to that. And Pat Corrales, who was managing that team that year, was infuriated with Stewart and led the charge onto the mound. He wanted a piece of Stu. Not a good idea. Ground ball to first base for David Nilsson. He touches it himself. And it's a 1-2-3 fifth, turned in by Steve Woodard, who's retired 5 in a row. Middle of the 5th, 2-1 Brewers. Tune into MSC for all the NCAA Football Weekly action on the slants. Go behind the scenes and get a look into all the NCAA teams from players to fans. Catch it all Wednesday night at 7:30 only on MSC, your ultimate sports connection. David Nilsson leading off the bottom of the 5th inning for Milwaukee. Nilsson, Cirillo, and Grissom against Sterling Hitchcock. David's 1 for 2 tonight. Doubled in a run back in the 1st. As you know, the Brewers heading to Denver tonight for a 2-game series with the Rockies. It begins tomorrow. San Diego is off to Philadelphia at the end of this one today. The Phillies still mathematically hanging around for wild card consideration, as are a number of other teams, the Brewers included.
The Dodgers and Phillies both 8 games behind front-running New York Mets. The game lead over the Chicago Cubs right now. Brewers 10 back.
Still mathematically alive are the Brewers, Pirates, and Cardinals. At 6 games under 500, each of those managers of those clubs, including Phil Greiner, just concerned with starting to play better baseball. Can't really be looking at wild card chances at this point.
Get yourself back to 500 and then see what happens. The problem is when you're 6 games back, you get into a long winning streak just to get back to 500.
There's ball 4 to Nilsson. Lays off a pretty good slider, takes it for ball 4.
First walk of the night for Sterling Hitchcock, and it's against Brewers leadoff hitter here in the 5th inning, and a left-handed hitter. Well, David has been getting a much better approach at home plate in the last week or so. Starting to drive the ball again.
Jeff Cirillo digging in now. Nilsson aboard to start things in the 5th. The Brewers have put the leadoff hitter aboard against Hitchcock in all 5 innings tonight. So far, that's translated into 2 runs. Cirillo offers at the first pitch a fly ball into center for Steve Finley. 1 away.
Cirillo got a pitch to hit up in the strike zone, just unfortunately got under it. That's a pitch up in the strike zone that normally Cirillo is going to drive somewhere, normally in the gap. He hadn't played a whole lot, had a couple of days off, and just a little bit behind that fastball. Right down the middle.
Here's Grissom now with Nilsson aboard and 1 away. A couple days ago, we were talking about Jeff Cirillo's chances for a Gold Glove award in the National League. And the more you think about it, the more you like the idea, certainly. But the more and more it just points to Jeff, really, as one of only a couple of candidates for that mention in the National League. It's hardly the days of Ron Say, Mike Schmidt and company, late 70s, early 80s, when there was a number of outstanding glove men at third base who would play every day. When you look down the National League, starting in the East, go through the divisions, go through each club, you don't find a lot of candidates.
You got Chipper Jones in Atlanta. Scott Rowland with the Phillies are probably his 2 stiffest competitors right now. Mentioned a couple of days ago, Jeff Cirillo with the best fielding percentage of any third baseman in the National League. Only Cal Ripken Jr. has a better fielding percentage in all of baseball.
And so many clubs in the National League that for one reason or another have used more than 1 or 2 guys at third base. You don't have a lot of guys that have the number of chances, opportunities. Trades, injuries, etc., etc. Teams like Los Angeles, Zeal and Bonilla. The Marlins, Zeal and Bonilla. Colorado's used Vinny Castilla more or less all year. In Arizona, Matt Williams has been hurt an awful lot. Cincinnati's used a number of guys. Cardinals have used more than 1 player there. Houston's in a pure platoon. The Cubs have used a lot of guys at third base. Little tapper to second. Veras for 1 out himself, but the relay nowhere near in time. What was that all about?
Yeah, those 2 guys out up the middle are having a heck of a time trying to get together on these double plays. That's the 3rd possible double play that San Diego could have turned, but there's no way you're going to turn double play running that far to second base. Kilvio Veras realized that as soon as he touched the bag, that what did I just do? Watch his reaction. Very disappointed with himself, disgusted.
Gomez was there in plenty of time to field a feed. For whatever reason, Veras decided to do it himself, and it cost him the double play. Now it's Burnett's runner at first is Grissom. Line past Gomez into left. Jeremy Burnett, could you get any hotter? 3 for 3 tonight, and in the series 9 for 12 against San Diego.
I remember in the first game of the series, he got 3 hits and really didn't hit the ball that hard, but That's all it takes to get you going, get that confidence up a little bit. And he hit the ball hard that time, a bullet into left field.
Jeff Jenkins, the batter now, 0 for 2 so far tonight, looking to keep a 7-game hitting streak alive. Brewers trying to mount something with 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
As usual, the bug's a big problem tonight. Jeff Jenkins probably caught one in the eye, had to call timeout. You see him flying all over Sterling Hitchcock.
You could more or less set your watch by what time the Skeeters are going to pop out. 5th inning. And it's not nearly as humid right now as it was when the game began. There's something of a cool breeze going through the grandstand.
Well, they have been out in hordes, particularly this week.
Chopper to second. Veras has it to Joyner, and they retire the side in the 5th. Nothing despite a couple of base hits. We head to the 6th inning tonight. Brewers on top of the Padres 2-1.
MSC delivers Fox Formula One auto racing. See racers from all over the world compete in the Belgian Grand Prix Sunday morning at 9 o'clock on MSC, your ultimate sports connection.
I've already seen that race. That's the one where Racer X has the pineapple with the jewels in it in his trunk. And when they cross the checkered flag, Chim Chim finds this stuff because he was fooling around Racer X's car. It's been on a million times. Greg Vaughn with a drive into center. Grissom turning his numbers to the infield. Good night. Greg Vaughn has homered in all 3 games of the series. Think he misses Milwaukee? Number 43 for Vaughn, bettering the franchise high and a career best for Greg Vaughn.
Well, no cheapie. Anytime you hit a home run to center field here in County Stadium, good quick swing from Greg Vaughn. Not much movement. Good pivot on that back foot and ends up in the alleyway. Greg Vaughn, other than the time he plays against the Brewers, you really root for this guy. Has nothing but nice things to say about the Brewers and the time he spent here. You certainly don't root for him when he's up at the plate against your team. He's having a heck of a season.
That ties us at 2 apiece. Wally Joyner now lines into the corner and right, and that one's off the wall. Burnitz with a feed quickly, and that's one of the well-hit singles that you don't rarely see in this ballpark.
Well, Burnitz was playing deep in right field and played it perfectly off of that pad. That's what you call home field advantage. Knew exactly where that ball was going to come. And Wally Joyner didn't even think about second base. You mentioned Steve Woodard has been getting some pitches up in the strike zone. Now the 3rd time through the order, San Diego's starting to hit him.
Mark Sweeney, the batter now. Joyner aboard. On the single that almost got over the fence. Base hit for Wally Joyner extends his hitting streak to 8 games. Greg Myers, the catcher, waiting on deck. Some people up and stirring in the Brewer bullpen, but nobody throwing down there yet. This is Steve Woodard's game here in the 6th inning tonight. Top to the right side. Nilsson to Vigna covering with the bare hand. Yeah! What was that?
Well, that was a nice play by Fernando Vigna. He was getting over there so quick. He was too far past first base to be able to catch it with a glove and ends up catching it barehanded. Woodard not able to get over there. Watch Fernando. No way you're going to make the catch with the glove. Throw the bare hand out there and get the out. Nothing to it, huh? Nothing conventional about Fernando Vigna.
Nothing. Boy, that is a heck of a play. Here's Myers now. Joyner gets to second on that play. One away.
Well, how many second basemen are actually going to be close enough to first base on a ball that normally the pitcher's going to be there to be able to make that play? He realized that Woodard wasn't going to be able to get there. Fernando put the afterburners on and made the play himself. That's just flat out hustle.
He gets over there as quietly as he does quickly. It's like he's tiptoeing through tires on an ROTC training drill.
Well, what it is, it's being completely aware of what's going on in front of him. He realized that Woodard wasn't going to get there, and he got on his horse. He's got good speed. And David Nilsson, luckily, noticed that he was there.
Myers off the end of the bat, just over Loretta into left center. That's going to score Joyner from second, and the Padres go back on top 3-2.
Another a changeup up out over the plate. Myers didn't hit it hard, but got enough of it to drive in the go-ahead run. Phil Garner still with nobody up in the Brewer bullpen.
Former Astro, former Tiger Donnie Wall up in the bullpen for San Diego. The pitchers due up next. And should the Padres go to a pinch hitter, you'll see Wall to work the bottom of the 6th. Chris Gomez is hitless tonight, 1 for 5 in the series. Myers the runner at first, 2 runs in, 1 away for Woodard here in the 6th. Fly ball to center. In medium center field, Marquise Grissom for out number 2.
Yeah, Phil Garner hesitant to go to the bullpen this early in the ball game. He just about emptied that bullpen in yesterday's game, the 10-inning loss. Just about everybody pitched.
Pitcher, Sterling Hitchcock.
The pitcher will bat in his turn as scheduled. Sterling Hitchcock now. His strikeout in the 4th inning, the only one of the night for Steve Woodard. Slicing in left, Jenkins is out there for it. Side retired in the 6th. Padres played a pair to reclaim the lead. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning from County Stadium. San Diego back out on top, 3-2 Padres.
Well, Greg Vaughn's home run in the top of the inning, is center field shot. Look at that short swing. Greg Vaughn seeing the ball pretty well this year. 44th home run of the year for Greg Vaughn, and that's our Discover card payback playback. That's the 43rd home run of the year for Greg Vaughn.
That tied it, and the Padres would get one more to take the lead in the top of the 6th inning. So the Brewers dealing with a deficit now as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Sterling Hitchcock will stick around. Mike Matheny followed by the pitcher's spot, then Fernando Vina here in the Brewers 6th. Got a nice note from Lee Frederick of Germantown. She and her friend Rachel tune us in on a rather regular basis. She wanted to drop a note to say hello. A base hit for Mike Matheny to lead off the 6th inning.
You see Mike Myers walking around that bullpen a little bit. Obviously going to sit down now that Steve Woodard is able to go up there and bunt. Had nobody been on, Phil Garner might have decided to pinch hit. You can see Phil's really not trying to go to that bullpen too early tonight. We're here in the 6th inning. Ordinarily, if that bullpen was fresh, he might have gone to a pinch hitter here and try and get a couple of runs, but looks like he's going to play for one.
Productive part of the order due up next in Vina, and then Mark Loretta in the hold. Steve Woodard's job here to get Matheny to second base. Woody can handle the bat pretty well.
It's kind of a tough situation for Steve Woodard, but ideally you'd like to bunt the ball to the first baseman. He's got to hold Matheny on. He's going to get the latest jump. Ken Caminiti's breathing right down his neck. And you try to bunt the ball to first base here.
Steve Woodard wants to chat with Doug Manzolino now, coming out of the third base coaching box. Steve Woodard would certainly like to help his chances here. He's looking to break out of a 3-game losing streak. This is his 5th chance at win number 10 to lead the Brewers. Still without a starter, without any pitcher for that matter, in double digits in wins. Matheny measuring off first once again. Here's a 1-0 home to Woodard. He gets a bunt down and gets down a pretty good one. Joyner goes to first. Matheny sacrificed over to scoring position with 1 away.
And a nice job by Steve Woodard. He bunts at the first base, but a little bit too hard. It looked like Wally Joyner had trouble getting a handle on that baseball. He had to play it second. But any time you're feeling the bunt and you bobble the ball, don't get a good grip on the baseball, you go to first, get the shore out. You'd much rather have one man in scoring position, avoid the big inning. That's the idea.
So now Matheny in scoring position for Fernando Vina. A couple of hits tonight for Fernando. It's extended a hitting streak to 8. He's stolen 2 bases and scored a run. And that's just foul into the corner. Not by much.
Well, he makes it look easy up there, doesn't he? It's not that easy to hit left-handed against a left-handed pitcher, but Fernando all season long has made it look pretty easy. Just missed the chalk line down the third baseline.
Wow.
Oh, Rich Rieker right on top of it, almost hit him.
Well, you'd have trouble putting a slice of bacon down in between the spot where the chalk is and the baseball landed.
Good call.
Bacon. 0-1 to Vina. The Mosquitoes like Fernando because he's wearing some pretty cologne. Fancy aftershave, boy. They'll come after you. Fangs out. At least that's what I'm told. Again to the left side of the infield. Caminiti's got this one and gets Vina. Matheny's got to stay put 2 away.
Well, this time the throw by Caminiti right on the money. Well, Caminiti's had some troubles getting the ball over to first base tonight. Talked about 20 errors on the season. That's good for almost 25% of the entire San Diego output of errors this year out of one position. Gives you an idea how steady they are.
Here's Mark Loretta now looking to pick up Matheny at second with 2 away. Brewers down a run. San Diego gets on the board for 2 in the top of the 6th inning. One of them on the Greg Vaughn home run. His 3rd of the series. His 43rd of the year. Keeps bettering what is now a career high and a franchise record. Loretta with a drive into left. It hangs up for Vaughn. And despite the leadoff single, the Brewers are turned away in the 6th. We head to the 7th inning, into the back 3rd tonight. Padres on top by a run.
Help the Brewers wives and Maxwell House Coffee keep the less fortunate warm this winter. Bring any unopened can of Maxwell House Coffee to Gate X on Saturday, September 5th, and receive up to 4 half-price Upper Deck Grandstand tickets. Coffee donated goes to the Hunger Task Force. Call 933-9000. We move to the top of the 7th inning. And San Diego will throw up the top of the order against Steve Woodard, who enters his 7th inning of work. It'll be Veras, Finley, and Caminiti.
Kilvio Veras is hitless tonight, 0 for 2. Walked and scored back in the first. Steve Woodard sticking around.
And you know, Phil Garner would have loved to go into a pinch hitter in that inning, but he really doesn't have the horses out in the bullpen tonight.
Grounded to short, great diving play by Loretta to throw to first, not in time. Veras can run. Flat out bringing the mail up the line to first base, and despite the great play by Loretta, Veras beats it out.
Well, had the switch hitter been hitting from the right side of the plate, Loretta wouldn't have been able to get him. But he's out of the box pretty quick, hitting left-handed, and just that extra half step is all it took to be safe. Good play by Mark Loretta, fully stretched out, up quick, good throw, and just does nip it at first base.
Well, that's a great shot. Veras just beats it out. Kilvio Veras extends his hitting streak to 8. Now it's Steve Finley. That's only the 3rd time that the Padres have been able to put the leadoff hitter aboard against Woodard. One of those occasions was on the Greg Vaughn home run. On the other hand, the Brewers have had their leadoff hitter aboard against Sterling Hitchcock in all 6 of their innings tonight, but have only been able to muster 2 runs of support for Woodard.
2 runs and one of those unearned. They need a little bit of help to score that second one.
One and one to Steve Finley. Ken Caminiti waiting next. A lot of danger 2 through 5 in this lineup. Line back up the middle, a base hit for Finley. Veras all the way to 3rd. And trouble brewing for the Padres here in the top of the 7th.
Well, the distressing thing about this is that Phil Garner, if he's going to have to make a pitching change in this inning, would have loved to have rethought his decision about sending Woodard up last inning. He had Woodard to go up there to pinch, to drop a bunt down, hoping to be able to save his bullpen, but it might not make a difference. Those are the risks that you take when you make decisions late in the ball game. Try and save your bullpen. It would have been nice to run up Valentine up there or Mark Newfield.
Here comes Garner, and they're going to go to the bullpen for Mike Myers. That'll turn around Ken Caminiti. If in fact they stay with Caminiti, meaning the Padres, Caminiti will be batting from the right side where he's had some back trouble. We'll see how this develops. Pitching change for the Brewers. We'll be right back. Pitching change for the Brewers with runners at 1st and 3rd. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Steve Woodard done for the night. He gives way to left-hander Mike Myers.
Well, 2 of the next 3 Padre hitters left-handed. Caminiti, a much better left-handed hitter than right. So Caminiti will hit right-handed. There you see his last outing. Pitched an inning yesterday. Myers 2.03 earned run average in his 60th game tonight. Got a record of 2-2. 44 in the 3rd innings. Only 39 hits. 4 of those home runs.
Kilvio Veras, a runner at 3rd base. Steve Finley at 1st. Very good speed aboard for San Diego. Ken Caminiti's 1 for 2 tonight, and as Bill mentioned, he's much more of a power threat from the left side of the plate. 15 of his 23 home runs this year have come as a left-handed hitter. Is it too late for me to take that back? You talk about putting the kiss of death on something. I'm leaving. Forget it.
Not your fault, partner.
As if he were wired for sound, Caminiti makes me sound like a big liar. 3-run home run.
Well, the only reason Caminiti has more home runs hitting left-handed is that he has more home at-bats hitting left-handed, but Caminiti with good power from both sides of the plate. Home run number 24 this year. RBI 72, 73, and 74. And San Diego now with a 4-run lead.
Some sore back. Here's Greg Vaughn now. Caminiti with 4 runs batted in tonight. 24th home run of the year coming a moment ago. Now it's Greg Vaughn. 6-2 Padres. You can now close the book on Steve Woodard. 2 of those 3 runs are charged to Woody. He allows 5 runs, all of them earned on 9 hits, walked 3, struck out 1. That line in 6+ tonight.
Ken Caminiti heating up for that playoff run. Well, not a typical Ken Caminiti season. Certainly not the kind of year he put together, and he was the MVP in the National League back in 1996. Trying to convince his teammates that his back's still sore. I don't think so.
You remember this spring training down in the Cactus League? Ken Caminiti was playing in a game early in the spring, and there was a fan that was just on him behind home plate, just all over him. Caminiti came out of the ball game about the 5th inning and sat down next to him and very politely discussed with the man exactly why he was so angry. He sat down, and the first words that he said to him were, "How you doing? Remember me? I was the guy that you were all over about 10 minutes ago." He had a little discussion with the guy, apparently placated him a bit, and left to a standing ovation in the grandstand. Gotta love that.
I wonder what the gentleman actually said to him as he was sitting right next to him.
Yeah. Oh, you can bet your bottom dollar that he backed off.
Mr. Caminiti, it was the beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
I'm sorry, sir.
2 ways to handle every situation. That certainly was the right one.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 by Greg Vaughn. So 1 away.
And Mike Myers takes a little bit off this pitch. Little slider backdoor job. Big break on it, and Vaughn just waves at it.
Wally Joyner the batter now. Here's some more Caminiti stuff for you. You'd have a hard time convincing Bruce Bochy that Ken Caminiti has been his most valuable player since Bochy took over the helm. In 4 years as a Padre, Ken Caminiti now has hit 115 home runs. First 8 seasons of his career, he was a Houston Astro. 75 home runs in 8 seasons in Houston, and again 115 home runs in his 4-year Padre career.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons for that is Houston Astrodome, a lot tougher to hit home runs in than is the ballpark in San Diego. And about when Caminiti left the Astrodome, they moved those fences in about 10 feet. But still, he's come into his own. Ken Caminiti, a superstar in this league, MVP a couple of years ago.
Three balls and a strike to Wally Joyner.
That's what's so amazing about what a guy like Jeff Bagwell and Moises Alou is doing over there in Houston. Putting up those big home run numbers in the Astrodome. A place where you don't normally score a lot of runs.
Ball 4 to Joyner. Going to have a pinch hitter for Mark Sweeney now. Ruben Rivera, the right-handed hitter, will bat in place of Sweeney. Rivera seeing most of the time in right field in Tony Gwynn's absence. Have a chance to swing it from the bench here.
Pinch hitting for Sweeney, number 28, Ruben Rivera.
Well, that's the amazing thing about what the Padres have been able to do to the Brewers in the last couple of weeks, the last week plus. There's only won 2 out of the 6 ball games without arguably the best hitter in the National League. Tony Gwynn on the disabled list with that bad heel, as we mentioned, the Achilles tendon bothering him. San Diego able to put him on the disabled list. I would suppose if the Padres are in the midst of a pennant race that Gwynn would be out there. They got a big lead. Why not rest him? Get him ready for the stretch run, the playoffs. They're not missing a beat scoring runs. Not a bit.
Comebacker, Myers to Vigna for 1, and on the transfer he loses a handle on it. Rivera beats it out. Well, the wheels really falling off the wagon here in the 7th.
Well, this is normally an automatic double play, particularly when it's in the hands of Fernando Vigna. A good throw by Mike Myers, right on the money. Fernando trying to be a little bit too quick. Drops the ball. San Diego's still alive here in the 7th. You don't see that often, do you? Very rare when Fernando Vigna drops a ball for a double play.
Greg Myers a batter now.
And that's pretty much one of the only disappointing things in this series, not only at home but in San Diego. The fans here in Milwaukee didn't get an opportunity to see Tony Gwynn. He's worth the price of admission in himself. The Brewer pitching staff didn't mind too much.
No question about that.
Tony Gwynn 95 hits away from 3,000 in his career. That'll happen early next year.
0-2 to Myers. Takes a lot of 200+ hit seasons to get to 3,000.
15 of them.
Did you just do that math in your head just now? That's right. It's pretty impressive. Tony Gwynn has been around a long time. You take for granted just how long Tony Gwynn has been at San Diego. He was there back in the days of the chocolate brown uniforms, folks. They made the last out of the 1984 World Series. Two balls and 2 strikes on Greg Myers. 3 runs in here in the 7th on the Caminiti home run, his 24th of the year. Second home run of the night by the Padres. Caminiti and Vaughn both going deep tonight. Rivera runs, pitch misses inside. Throw down to second, not in time.
Your attention, please. Carroll and Billings to the
A
fence.
4-run lead, nothing, according to the San Diego Padres. Rivera takes off. Tough pitch for Matheny to throw on. And you can see the results. Down and into a left-handed hitter. Tough for a catcher. Tough to get that body position to make an accurate throw.
3-2 pitch home. This is outside to Myers, ball 4. So runners at first and second now. Chris Gomez a batter. And Don Rowe gets to the phone with the bullpen. Right-hander Eric Plunk to begin a bullpen assignment.
Eric Plunk and Chad Fox, the only 2 Brewer pitchers in the bullpen that did not appear in yesterday's ball game. Brewers using a lot of pitchers yesterday in that 10-inning loss. San Diego put 13 runs on the board.
Gomez lines into left center. That drops in front of Grissom. It'll score Rivera from second, and it makes it 7-2 San Diego.
Well, you get kind of spoiled anytime you see Mike Myers coming into the ball game, because in the first half of the season he was just about automatic. Earned run average under 1 for the most part. First half of the season. Really can't expect any pitcher to continue that kind of pace, but last month or so Mike's had some troubles. Had some control problems, giving up some base hits. Well, they're about the time that Bob Wickman started to have some troubles.
Nothing in 1 on the pitcher, Sterling Hitchcock, who is making his 4th plate appearance here. Myers at second base, Gomez at first on the RBI single. One and two. Padres have had good productivity tonight out of the 2-3-4 part of their batting lineup. Steve Finley 3 for 4. Caminiti 2 for 3 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. Greg Vaughn 1 for 3 with a home run. That makes Bruce Bochy's life pretty comfortable. Called strike 3 taken by Hitchcock, and that'll do it in the 7th. Padres bat around, however, and get on the board for 4 more runs. 7th inning stretch, 7-2 San Diego.
Drive into your local Amoco station and receive your Amoco Come On Black Club card. Make 5 8-gallon minimum gas purchases and earn free Brewers tickets. Stop in today.
Ruben Rivera remains out there in right field as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning tonight. David Nilsson will lead things off for the Brewers. Nilsson, Cirillo, and Grissom. Brewers down 5. Padres bat around to the top of the 7th and get on the board for 4 big runs. Well, long ball has been a big part of the Padres' attack tonight, as it has been all year. Home runs by Vaughn and Caminiti. There's 4 of your 7 runs right there on 2 swings of the bat. My, what a couple of consistent home run threats mean to an offense.
Yeah. Well, any team that scores runs on a consistent basis has 2 or 3 hitters in their lineup that can go deep. Preferably a good mix of left-handed and right-handed power hitters. We can't pitch around one of them.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 from David Nilsson.
Well, David trying to take one out of the yard on 2 strikes. Normally David shortens up on that swing with 2 strikes, but not that time. A big swing, but unfortunately no contact.
You know, that big trade that the Padres and Astros hooked up for back in '94. I think it was an 11-player deal after the players to be named later were named and the minor league guys switched uniforms. You could probably take a look at that now as we are late in the '98 season and say advantage San Diego. And to revisit that one, it's worth doing because so many big-name players switched uniforms. San Diego got Caminiti, Steve Finley, Andahar Cedeno, Roberto Pettagini, who is now in Cincinnati, right-handed pitcher Brian Williams, and a player to be named later ended up being a left-handed pitcher by the name of Sean Fesh. So really the big key guys there were Caminiti, Finley, and Cedeno. In exchange for Derek Bell, Phil Plantier, Ricky Gutierrez, Craig Shipley, Doug Brocail, and a left-handed pitcher by the name of Pedro Martinez, not the Pedro Martinez.
Right.
If there were to be a slight advantage, and you might find arguments to the contrary here, I would give it to San Diego.
Yeah. particularly Caminiti, what he has been able to do for San Diego. As you talked about Steve Finley really not having the kind of year that the Padres have been accustomed to. And there's a guy, Steve Finley, in center field that has hit 58 home runs in the last 2 seasons. Derek Bell and only Ricky Gutierrez left in that trade on the Houston Astros.
What's incredible about that trade, if you think of it from the Houston standpoint, that they've been able to keep Caminiti and maybe send somebody else over to San Diego and still keep the nucleus of that team, Bagwell and Biggio, intact. Imagine an infield, and I don't care who you put at shortstop, Caminiti, Bagwell, Biggio. Marquise Grissom grounds to shortstop. Gomez to Veras to Joyner. Very quickly the side is retired. We head to the 8th inning at County Stadium. Padres on top of the Brewers 7-2. We head to the 8th inning from County Stadium. Brewers down 5 to San Diego. Only one other game in progress in the National League tonight. That's Colorado and Philadelphia. We'll set the scoreboard for you in a moment. New pitcher for the Brewers. First, however, he is right-hander Eric Plunk.
And Plunk's last appearance came against these Padres a couple of days ago. 1 inning, 2 hits, no runs. Plunk with that earned run average at 2.13 with the Brewers. Struggled over there with Cleveland, and he's really done a nice job since coming over to Milwaukee in that Doug Jones trade. New center fielder, double switch for Phil Garner. Darren Jackson in center.
And for the second consecutive inning, Kilvio Veras would lead things off for San Diego. Veras 1 for 3 with a walk tonight. Padres indeed hit around in the 7th inning against a combination of Steve Woodard and Mike Myers. Seven runs on 11 hits, couple errors for San Diego, 2 runs on 8 hits for the Brewers. Big curveball fouled away. Again, mostly finals in the National League. Checking our Miller Genuine Draft scoreboard. That Los Angeles-Atlanta game was a wild one. Atlanta got 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to make a loser out of Jeff Shaw. That Pittsburgh-St. Louis game, a final tie score that is not a typo. That game was canceled after 7 innings. An official rain cancellation, meaning the statistics, the individual numbers hold up. The score does not. They'll play that one again. Saw that score. Houston big against the Cubs down at Wrigley. Moises Alou with home run number 38. As Shane Reynolds defeated Mark Clark.
So Mark McGwire gets an extra game, right?
This is true.
163 games.
Couldn't think of that. I wonder if that will require an asterisk next to his name when he breaks a record like they did with Maris for so many years.
Well, maybe if he needs the 163rd game, it might.
Center fielder, Steve Finley.
Vina retires Veras for out number 1. Now it's Steve Finley. The big question now is, and this is something that all the pollsters are running their numbers on, do you think Mark McGwire will break the record in 154 games? Before they added games to the schedule, Roger Maris's 61 home runs appeared with an asterisk next to it in the record books for many years. Kind of a blemish on that record, if you will.
Well, you never know. Mark McGwire, how many away? 8 home runs away from tying the record, 9 to win, 9 to beat that record. Mark McGwire can hit 9 home runs in a week.
Steve Finley's aboard on a base hit back up the middle.
And he just about has. He had 6 home runs in a span of what? Was it 6 games?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Third baseman, Ken Caminiti.
Steve Finley, 4 for 5 tonight. Ken Caminiti the batter now. Homered his last time up. He's driven in 4 runs this evening. There were a lot of people that really didn't like the idea of the 61 home runs by Roger Maris, appearing with an asterisk next to his name. They finally got that removed from the record books. But so many people wanted to keep Babe Ruth in that hallowed place. For the longest time, even when Roger Maris was still playing, he felt a lot of animosity from some of these so-called purists for having broken his record and taking more games to do it. I think 1962, Roger Maris hit 33 home runs and really heard about it from Yankee fans that season. Shortly after that, he was gone to the Cardinals.
Nothing wrong with 33 home runs.
Absolutely not.
Takes a lot out of you to hit that many home runs, particularly breaking records. It's not just the physical aspect of going out there and playing every day. It's dealing with the media. It took a lot out of Roger Maris.
3-0 to Ken Caminiti. Be interesting to follow what happens with Mark McGwire this year. He does break the record, which we have both agreed many occasions that he will. 1999, to get way far ahead of ourselves, will be a very interesting year for him. There's ball 4 to Caminiti. Plunk loses him on 4 pitches.
Left fielder, Greg Vaughn.
Greg Vaughn, the batter now. A couple of runners aboard. Finley at second, Caminiti at first, and 1 away. If you were to tell Greg Vaughn he'd have 43 home runs on August 24th, and there'd be 2 or 3 guys in front of him in the home run race, he'd tell you you're a bold-faced liar.
I don't know. I think he knew in the offseason that Mark McGwire was in the National League, but 43 home runs with no chance of leading the National League. Well, that shouldn't say no chance. Never know what can happen. Well, kids enter at a participating grocers to win the Clements Honorary Bat Boy Bat Girl contest. Have your photograph taken on the field, receive Brewers souvenirs, and meet a player. Clements, it's easily the best.
One and 1 to Greg Vaughn. Not quite sure if we're at the 18th at Ozaki right now or County Stadium.
Very quiet, isn't it?
Rather quiet.
Yep. Not a whole lot to cheer about right now. Down by 5 runs. San Diego threatening again.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Greg Vaughn. Eric Plunk looking for a ball to hit on the ground here. The home run earlier by Greg Vaughn, his 74th extra base hit. Forget about home runs, forget about runs batted in. 74 extra base hits, leads the National League. We talked about it here on Saturday. He told the San Diego Union Tribune last week that what makes this year even sweeter for him is last year. Some of the criticism he came under last season. 2-2 pitch here is swung on and missed. 2 away for Plunk.
Well, this is the point in the ball game where guys like hitters like Vaughn try and go for the downs and add on to those totals. Game well in hand. Normally a pitch that Vaughn will take. Try and hit home runs. Those are the pitches you swing at. They mentioned Vaughn with those extra base hits, 27 doubles, and that's 3rd on the Padres. Steve Finley with 33. Tony Gwynn with 29. Money also with 4 triples.
Here's Wally Joyner now.
Eighteenth at Ozaki. A lot of mosquitoes will be out there right now. A lot of water on that course.
Yet another thing that we have in common with Ozaki. Yeah, the Skeeters have gone away for the most part tonight.
Yeah.
Joyner wraps one just foul into the corner and right. You know, the last time I played out there, I was so attacked by mosquitoes that at one point about midway through the day, I looked down at my shoes as I was putting and I had blood on my shoes. I mean, those are vicious mosquitoes. I was bludgeoned. I was dripping blood onto my white foot joys. 2-1 on Joyner. Two and two. Good fastball by Eric Plunk, picks up the outside portion. A lot of wars between these two guys in their American League days. Couple of base runners for Joyner here. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 away. Padres batting top of the 8th. Again, wrap foul. It's got to be a big year for Wally Joyner, one of your old Angel teammates. It's been a while since he's tasted the postseason, and I want to say it was his rookie year in '86 with the Angels.
And he wasn't even able to participate in postseason. Fouled a ball off his foot. Had a blood clot in his leg and was not able to participate. Actually was in the hospital during the playoffs when the Angels were there. So yeah, this is a big year for Wally. Not only that, but it's free agent year for him. Owns a home in San Diego. Really likes it there. I gotta believe Wally will take a little bit less money to stay in San Diego.
Runners go, and the full count pitch is fouled away. And you know, the Padres would like to have him back. There was a point a couple of years ago when they had an heir apparent to the first base position in Derek Lee. He was sent over to the Marlins in the Kevin Brown acquisition. Also had a big left-handed hitting first baseman named Jason Thompson. There's a fly ball into center. Darren Jackson's got a beat on it, and that'll retire the side of the 8th. A couple of base runners left stranded, middle of the 8th, 7-2 Padres. Sterling Hitchcock still out there for the Padres as we check the Miller Genuine Draft American League scoreboard. Final in St. Louis, Ken Cloud outlasts Mike Sorotka. An 11-10 win for Seattle up at the Kingdome tonight. Kansas City beat Toronto 7-3. Jack McDowell gets another win for Anaheim as the Angels beat New York 7-3. Andy Pettit took the loss. In progress, Texas over Detroit 6-3 in the 8th. Will Clark with a home run for the Rangers. Only 4 games on the American League agenda tonight. How about Jack McDowell? Boy, he's come up big with a couple of big wins for the Angels his last 2 turns in the rotation.
Yeah, Anaheim in first place by 2.5 games over Texas coming into play today. They're playing well. Playing well without Darren Erstad. He was on a disabled list for a while.
Tell you, I know you had picked the Angels from the get-go to win the West. I had picked the Rangers from the get-go to win the West, but your pick is starting to look a little better to me. They get Erstad back. Jack McDowell is just taking that whole staff on his back and saying, you know, my arm's not exactly right, but this is how you do it.
Yep, I've been
with
there.
A lot of heart.
Yeah, he's been there before. Every team has to have a position player and a pitcher that's been through the wars before to show everybody else how it's done. Suck it up. Go out there, make your starts, take your at-bats even when you're hurt. how you win championships.
Tim Salmon banged up.
Hey.
2-2 to Burnitz.
He's won a few. 5 World Championships, Dave Stewart. And check that. 4 World Championships. What's one?
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dave Stewart has preached to his starters getting into the late innings. He doesn't want to go to his bullpen. He has said, quote, when I saw Eck get up, speaking of Dennis Eckersley in his Oakland days, I'd get mad. He went on to say, the only way I want our starters looking towards a bullpen is if Vanna White is standing down there buck naked. And in that case, your starters better be looking
your
at the bullpen.
Starters, the broadcasters, just about all the fans.
Spinning them letters, nothing on. There's Jeff Jenkins.
Yep. I'd like to buy a vowel.
Ground ball to Joyner. He steps on first, and there are 2 away for Sterling Hitchcock. How about Sterling Hitchcock against the Brewers? Last time he saw this club, 9-inning complete game, 5-hit shutout, struck out 9. Lifetime 6-1 against Milwaukee. He's got to like his chances to go 7-1. He's pitched very well tonight and has gotten a whole lot of offense in support of his cause.
It's amazing. He has not retired the side in order once. Well, he faced 3 batters back in the 7th, but he needed a double play to do that.
Recently, Phil Garner has said quite a bit that he really can't tell what's going on with the Brewers lineup or with what the starting pitcher has because the results have been the same so often. He's felt like he hasn't been in a position to comment on the opposing starter's stuff because he's not sure if the Brewers at-bats are making him look good or if, in fact, he's out there with the kind of stuff that could shut down anybody.
Particularly on that last road trip, that 10-game road trip where the Brewers were shut out 5 times, his offense was just about non-existent.
Grounded to short for Gomez, and it's a 1-2-3-8 turned in by Sterling Hitchcock. We'll head to the 9th tonight at County Stadium. San Diego on top of the Brewers, 7-2 Padres.
Check out what's new on MSCSports.com. Just head to the MSC Marketplace through MSCSports.com, where there's MSC hats, shirts, and a lot more to order with just a click of a button. That's the MSC Marketplace, only on MSCSports.com.
Couple of changes defensively behind Eric Plunk. Jose Valentin enters the ballgame at shortstop. And that'll push Mark Loretta over to second base. Fernando Vina will sit out the rest of this one tonight.
And it's raining. There's some good news.
What next? What next?
And it's raining hard.
Yeah, it's starting to come down a little bit. Ruben Rivera leads things off, a swing and a miss. We were told earlier today there was a chance of scattered showers around the 9 o'clock hour. Weatherman about 55 minutes late as we get to 10 o'clock here tonight. This does not promise to be a halting type of rain. Don't look at me like, why would I say that?
Now, why would you want to say that?
It's not going to be. I'm telling you. I know. I can see
syndrome
it.
Again.
That's right. I've already done that once tonight. It's going to rain, let me tell you. Grounded to shortstop, but Cirillo is there for it from third. One away.
Oh, nice play by Jeff. Would have been a tough play for Valentin, and Cirillo with his momentum going toward first base. At first and third, you take anything that you can get to, and Cirillo with a nice play to get him.
See that? It's already starting to lighten up. It's almost nice enough to have a picnic out there right now. Here's Greg Myers with one away. Myers has had a nice night, 2 for 3. He drove in a run in the 6th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tomorrow, Scott Carl and Darryl Kyle. An 8 o'clock start Wisconsin time will be televised tomorrow. Will be televised for both in that short trip to Denver. Games tomorrow and Wednesday night. Then it's off to Arizona for 4. We'll bring the first 3 of those games to you on the television.
After this road trip, only 2 more trips left. The season really winding down, doesn't it? Doesn't seem possible.
1 more 10-game road trip, then the team will finish out the season in Los Angeles at the end of September. Myers with a base hit into left, his 3rd of the night.
Shortstop, Chris Gomez.
Gomez 1 for 4 tonight. Jim Leyrit's waiting on deck. He'll bat for the pitcher. Popped him up. Loretta in foul territory, makes a catch. Myers has to stay put. 2 away.
Oh, and as you predicted, the rain just about is stopped completely. The last thing you need now is a rain delay. Team heading off to Colorado tonight.
Chicken strips get cold by the time you get on the plane there, boy. Nothing makes for a worse trip.
Cold chicken strips. You're
Cold
right.
chicken
Yep,
strips.
you bet.
Here's Jim Leyritz now. Greg Myers, the runner at first. You know, we've spoken at times about our friend and colleague Kent Sommerfeld, who produces Brewer Radio on the Brewer Radio Network. While most of us enjoy being on the plane and noshing on whatever food they're serving, you'll never meet a guy more particular about barbecue sauce than our friend Sammy Sommerfeld. He will recoil into his shell and won't say a word for the rest of the flight if there's no barbecue sauce on that plane.
Well, he knows what he likes.
I mean, he gets downright angry. He won't even speak to anybody after that. Puffs and puffs around, slams his tray table up and down.
Can't think of a better reason than to commandeer all the barbecue sauce the rest of the year.
A ball and 2 strikes on Jim Leyritz. Two and 2. You know, Eric Plunk was on the field that day in 1986. And Dave Stewart was pitching for Oakland, and Pat Corrales came out of the dugout as a manager of the Indians and tried to strangle him. Big swing and a miss. That'll do it in the 9th for the Padres. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Brewers down 5.
Tune in to MSC for the MSC Sports Connection. Host Mike Max has the latest in local and regional sports news For an update on the sports where you live, take it to the max on the MSC Sports Connection, your ultimate sports news connection.
Campo High School football rules. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Pitching change for San Diego. They've turned it over to right-hander Danny Maselli.
Well, the ex-Tiger getting some work in tonight. Pitched a couple of days ago. Got a no decision here in Milwaukee. 1 inning, 1 run. Check that, no runs, 1 hit. 9-4. Middle reliever having a pretty good season, a la Doug Henry with the Houston Astros. 2.85 earned run average. Has picked up a couple of saves this year. Pretty good hits to innings pitch ratio. 59 strikeouts in 60 innings is pretty good as well.
Solid setup, guys, in this San Diego bullpen. Maselli, one of them. Donnie Wall having a good year. Scott Sanders, can't say enough about having Randy Myers as a setup guy. That hardly seems fair. At one point tonight, 14,121 in through the turnstiles. A 7-2 score up on the scoreboard, and some light rain a moment ago has sent some of the fans out into the parking lot. Brewers trying to come back, down by 5. Darren Jackson to lead things off. Jackson, Vigna, and Loretta.
It's amazing. Every winning ball club has somebody out of the bullpen that's going to rack up 10, 11, 12 wins in a season. Mentioned Doug Henry with the Astros. He's got 8 wins. Maselli with 9. That's the way it goes. You have teams that come back late and win ball games. Somebody in the bullpen is going to pick up a win. Remember Aurelio Lopez with the Tigers back in, what was that, 85?
Yep.
Had a bunch of wins, 10, 12 wins.
Rather Jackson takes a look at a called strike 3. 3-pitch punch out for Danny Maselli.
I mentioned this Padre bullpen, one of the best. Right on the outside corner, a little bit too close to take. Ball game around 3-hour mark. And a swing of those close pitches with 2 strikes.
Jose Valentin now batting in Vigna's spot in the order. We had indicated it was Jackson, Vigna, Loretta. Indeed, Jackson, Valentin, Loretta. After Jose came on defensively last half inning. 1 away, bottom of the ninth. Brewers down 5. There's always a Chuck Krim, right?
Yeah, Jim Slayton.
Jim Slayton, another guy.
Yeah.
Got a lot of those decisions.
Team falls behind, you get into some long and middle relief. That pitcher does the job and ends up picking up a win.
Sounded like that one got a piece of Hunter Wendelstedt, the home plate umpire.
Shelly tried to overthrow that one a little bit, nearly hit Jose in the chops. Hunter Wendelstedt with a long night. Brewers have seen a lot of this crew. The last 5 games this crew has been here. It did. It got him right on the shoulder. Not the longest you're going to see an umpiring crew in one city. Here's the Houston series, San Diego.
One ball, 2 strikes on Jose Valentin. Brewers looking for a miracle Michael Wee type of rally late. Down 5, bottom of the ninth. Told you that tomorrow it's Scott Carl and Darryl Kyle on the mound in the first of 2 at Denver. Then on Wednesday, Young right-hander Jamie Wright and Bill Pulsifer for the Brewers. Well, the Maniac's still here. Putting a hurt to those seat cushions. A ground ball to second for Veras. And there are 2 away here in the bottom of the 9th.
Second baseman, Mark Loretta.
Maniac never leaves early.
No. And he's got a long walk. Walks to the ballpark, walks home after the games.
Mark Loretta now representing the last chance for the Brewers, and he pops into left. Greg Vaughn is there in shallow left field. This one's done. After dropping the first game of the series in Milwaukee, the Padres respond with wins yesterday and tonight. 7-2 San Diego, the latest installment. Stick around with us. Bill and I will return to wrap it up right after this.